Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Sam.
I'm Rebecca.
Thanks for joining us for Click Play Now, our watch-along series. Today we're watching Bojack Horseman, Season 4, Episode
11!
11.
See, after 4 seasons, we're starting to see the pattern. This is not just a reaction video, it's a watch-along, so we'll click play on our copy, you click play on your copy, and we'll kind of watch along together. We'll comment as we go, and if you have any thoughts, comments, or you want to tell us how devastated you are by this Episode 11, leave them below. We read everything, we try to respond to almost everything.
If you don't want to watch the whole episode along with us right now, but come on, it's Episode 11. But if you don't want to right now, you can skip ahead using the chapter time codes below and jump ahead to our discussion at the end of the episode.
And as always, if you're enjoying what we're doing, if you want to support us, please hit the bell, hit subscribe. I know so many of you have already. Thank you so much. Get those notifications. Like, what are the other things? Check out the Bojack merch below, all that jazz. We really appreciate it so much.
Last time on the show, something happened to Hollyhock. She got put in the hospital. Her dads came back and picked her up, I assume, because we didn't get to see her for the rest of the episode. And Bojack's mom went back to a
much worse nursing home.
Yeah.
Because he was mad about Hollyhock, about her messing with her.
Right.
I feel you, Bojack. I don't know if taking it out on your mom is the right reaction, but I get it.
Yeah, last time we were talking about it seeming to be unclear, you know, how aware she was of stuff, what's going on. Yeah, maybe we'll get some answers in these next episode or two.
Yeah. Hopefully Hollyhock's okay. Not like permanently injured or anything. I feel like Bojack, that would just kill Bojack.
It looks like we're gonna jump in the past again.
Yeah.
A title like Time's Arrow and this description and thumbnail.
Get to know a little bit more about his mom. Yeah, it's kind of an irony, right? Like Bojack has his mom around and kind of hates her.
Yeah.
And Hollyhock doesn't and like desperately wants to know her.
Yeah.
It's a good sort of parallel overarching theme for this season.
All right, if you guys are all queued up for Bojack Horseman Season 4, Episode 11, click play now.
Netflix.
Original series. Oh my gosh.
The face is so interesting.
Yeah. Theme song.
Man, that was a short intro. Probably because they know if you're here at episode 11, they don't have to hook you. Oh, Hollyhock's nobody's in the background. It's usually Hollyhock and his mom.
Right, right. The kitchen is empty.
Yeah. Oh, that's so sad. Here we go.
And we're back.
I love her just in that white space.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. Oh. Thunder.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
Wow. Sugar and cream. This is not the personality I expected her to have.
These transitions are interesting.
Yeah.
Also, the faceless people.
I like that it's Bojack. Or it's
Will Arnett.
Yeah.
That like cool silhouette thing. Wow, look at this. That's so cool.
I like how the mamas are always in shadow still. This is a good commentary on the nonsense of debutante balls.
Two weeks later.
These books are great.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh, man. This is so sweet. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nice, cool montage.
Yeah. Oh. Mm. Wow. Man.
Several months later.
Mm.
Credits.
Is Hollyhock not Bojack's kid? Is Hollyhock... Was that baby Hollyhock?
It could be. Does the aging work out?
I was trying to figure it out, and I think it does, because she's 19, right? And if Bojack was just, like, a really young star, like 30...
Oh, that's right. So, like, he's just after his sitcom days?
Yeah. And now he's, like, 50, 20 years later.
Yeah.
And his mom's mom was, I don't know, 50 then, and now she's 70 or something. Or 60 then, and now she's 80. That was an episode, man.
Yeah, heck of an episode.
You know what I mean if I say it was beautiful? Like, just, like, really well put together.
Yeah, it was really well put together. The transitions, the structure, the way the story was kind of told from her memory, and like we just got to like step into her memory bank, and just how like that played out with like even little things of like when Bojack's dad is like, I'm here, hat in hand, and there's like a little and the hat appears in his hand. It's just like really nice. Yeah, just nice work with the way they told that. Yeah. So like that's kind of how your memory works, where you're like, you remember things kind of as you get to them at times of like, oh right, he had a hat in hand, like let me go back and add that in.
Yeah, I liked the happening just in general.
Yeah. And
kind of flashing back and forth, which is also how your memory works, right? You think about one situation and you're like, oh yeah, it related to this. How did that relate? Oh yeah, this scene, this thing happened. Yeah, okay, back to this thing, kind of.
Yeah, that was heavy and sad, and just gonna go, just go sit silently for a minute or something.
Yeah. I feel like it plays into that overarching theme I think I've seen in Bojack of like, I think you say people are the way they are for a reason. And it's so complicated to relate to people because there's moments where your mother overdoses your daughter and you're so angry about it, and justifiably so. And like you watch her story. You're both angry and you could like, there's a context for what's happening. I liked that her mom was always like in shadow. Mm-hmm. That's devastating. Like almost like she's just like not fully human anymore. She's just sort of a shadow of a person.
Yeah, it's neat to get episodes like this where we like dive so deeply into people are the way they are for a reason, and have that be contrasted with all their portrayals of like politics in the media, where you don't get deep at all. Like everything is like, it's like, to say surface level doesn't even do it justice.
Right.
It's so frivolous.
Jessica Biel lost the election because she doesn't like avocados.
Right. And that seems to be so much of how like a lot of culture and politics seem to work, right? Especially in a place where it shouldn't work that way, right? In a place where these are the people that are in charge of city, government, of how people get information and what kind of information they hear. And at the same time, there's like that old phrase, like the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world.
Yeah.
To like really get down to like who people are, what do they think? That takes time. You can't do that in a soundbite.
Yeah.
And it takes patience, it takes diligence, right? It takes like being willing to be frustrated at times, and like you have to like stick with it.
Yeah.
You know, just like when we were watching season 1 of Bojack, like all of you guys were like, just hang in there, just like stick with it. And we're just like, what is up with this guy? He's just a jerk.
Yeah.
But when you do stick around, what's probably true for most people, I imagine, is that there's those layers underneath that kind of expose the vulnerability and the humanity that allows you to have like compassion and empathy and and understanding, and not just like write them off as like the latest sort of like news buzz thing.
Right. Which we get to see, not that Bojack fully understands his mother, but we get to see a moment of compassion and empathy in the end from Bojack towards his mom, which I thought was really nice.
Yeah, it's when he notices that she's like vulnerable. When she's like, wait, like honestly, where are we? Like you could like, you know, like great acting, right?
Yeah.
You can hear it in the tone of the voice of she has that sense of vulnerability, and Bojack hears that and stops and sits down, and he changes his demeanor as well.
Right. Yeah, sometimes it just takes being vulnerable with people, which is really hard, especially when they're not nice people. I liked sort of this through line of like babies and whether or not they're wanted and how that's processed. And you have like little baby Beatrice who has a little doll who legit has to be burned. Mm-hmm. Like that was how they dealt with like germs infecting stuff and whatever. Mm-hmm. But like it's just done in such an awful way. Mm-hmm. And that being like a traumatic thing for her. And then you see like adult Beatrice not wanting to give up a baby. Mm-hmm. Yes, I feel you.
Yeah.
And then regretting it. Mm-hmm. And struggling with that, and then kind of forcing another young woman to give up a baby, which is just as traumatic as the first thing that happened to her, right? You have this whole horrible, well-told cycle that happened.
Yeah. And the difficulties and complications of Beatrice and Butterscotch. Mm-hmm. Is it like clearly rough way to start out?
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like, oh man, you've got the like Bojack charm, or like I guess Bojack has your charm, you know, but like you're not a super
stable man, if you will.
Nice. Yeah. But there's the sense of like, you know, when they're telling that story of like, you know, the couple that moves to California and you see the sort of like hopeful possibility of what could be.
Right.
Then you see how like the pressures and difficulties of life can become these like huge difficulties and obstacles.
Right.
That all of a sudden, you know, like they're up night, the baby's crying and like he's not pursuing his dream. She's like no longer, you know, happy and fulfilled and satisfied. And I just thought it was like this interesting commentary too on like, it didn't have to be bad necessarily.
Yeah.
But just how those types of circumstances like make it difficult to be in a relationship, to parent, to follow your passions when you're trying to pay the bills and all that type of stuff.
Right. And it's tricky for Beatrice, right? Because when you get pregnant in what the I don't know what time period, but in that older time period, you get pregnant out of wedlock, like there's not a lot of option but to marry the guy. And it almost never works out. Like, I'm not that old, and I have a handful of friends who got pregnant and didn't mean to, and then married the guy, and all of them are divorced already. Like, it just, marrying someone because you had a baby with them just doesn't seem to be something that, like, helps your relationship. But Beatrice kind of doesn't have a choice. Like, in her time period, I'm not sure what else you would do. It's a choice made for you. But Henrietta, like, I don't know if Beatrice realizes that Henrietta is in a different place, in a different time period. What is she, in the 90s? It has to be because Bojack's an adult.
Right.
Not that single parenting is going to be any easier necessarily, but, like, it's not looked down upon quite in the same way. You can still get a job, or now you can get a job, and, like she could have made it work. Beatrice maybe didn't have a choice, but Henrietta might have to, like, keep the baby and make it happen, especially if she's getting money from Sugarman Estate.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow, Beatrice, you didn't update as you went. You didn't realize that the culture around you had changed. And you didn't update that the horrible thing that your dad did to you, small as it was, is also not what you should do to this person, man.
It's weird, right? It's weird how, like, you, like, know those things, and you can even, like, be aware of them and, like, articulate them. And at the same time, it's just, like, stuck in your brain and stuck in your body.
Right.
It's like this just odd, like, automatic reflex that just kind of kicks in and, like, takes over of, like, this is what happened before, like, click into, like, hyperdrive and do it again.
It's like parents say, like, I'm not gonna be like my parents. I'm gonna be different. But, like, I bought my cat, like, a toy recently, and I put a lot of work into it, and he didn't like it, and I was angry at him. And, like, he's allowed to not like things.
Yeah. Well, I hope that the next episode gives us a little bit denouement to sort of, like, let us wind down.
Oh, man.
From all of that.
I need to wind down from the whole season.
Yeah. I'm so glad that we finally got to find out who Henrietta is.
Yes.
I felt like with that name that kept coming up, that, like, it had to mean something significant.
Such a distinctive name.
Yes. And again, with these writers, I feel like they don't throw stuff in like that flippantly.
I loved her face. I feel like there was some good, like when you go back to in the past, there's like people you just kind of can't remember their faces as much. And then there's a handful of people you're like, oh, I remember your face exactly. Sure. But Henrietta, it's almost as if she like took a pen in her memory and like scribbled her out. Like, I do not want to remember this person. Yeah. I want to forget that this happened.
Yeah. The face characters, the no face characters, and Henrietta was something different than both.
Yeah. Some people you just sort of fade away. Henrietta, I wanted to scratch out.
Yeah.
That was a really cool episode.
Yeah, it was cool.
I want to say a few of you have said this is one of your favorites, and I think it's going to be in my top 10 for sure. Maybe top 5.
Well, guys, as always, thank you for hanging out with us. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you guys next week for the next episode, the last episode of Season 4, next week. See you guys then.